welcome everyone to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man. I'm TJ, your host, and with me again, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there is no shame in his game because he is always the same.
That's me. Can I make a suggestion to you, TJ?
Grumpy, I see you shaking your head. What's going on?
Because once again, you're telling people that our podcast is going to start at 8 o'clock, is what you say, and it is 8:20. I don't understand why you cannot ever be punctual. You tell somebody a certain time that you should absolutely be ready to go at that time.
Grump, as you say that, look at you. You have notifications binging and bonging over there. I don't want to hear any shit from you.
You know what the notifications say? Tell that dumbass TJ to make sure that he starts the podcast on time.
Is that what the notification said?
That's what it says.
The fans are saying? Oh,
yeah.
I hear. I understand, Grumpy.
Yeah.
Man, oh, man. I'll tell you, though, yes, make sure we go live on Sunday evenings, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And
What time?
8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
What time is it now?
It's a little after 8 o'clock Eastern Standard
Time. It's 8:25.
Yeah, it's a little after 8 o'clock Eastern
Standard Time. You got to be ready on time. I mean, it's like 8 o'clock TJ time. I just think you should be more respectful of the listeners. That's all.
We're here. It's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is when we go live. That being said, we may or may not, we probably will not be going live this Thursday. That being said, we will be definitely going live on Sunday evening. That is for sure. So again, but this usually happens every Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and Thursday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. This Thursday, we will not be going live, but next Sunday, again, we'll resume our normal scheduled programming. Grumpy Old Man, a lot of things happened this week in sports. Huge items. The EPL kicked off. You had preseason football and a lot of things to cover. Isn't that right, Grump?
Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, I didn't know if you had anything number one right off the top you wanted to mention, but I guess you're going to keep.
No. I'm going to let you steer the ship. You pulled away from port late, so I'm going to let you steer the ship.
I always freaking steer the ship. Anyway, that being said, number one big story. Looks like there is going to be a interconference alliance between the ACC, the Big Ten, and the Pac-12, where they're going to be allowing something regarding non-conference schedules. I think it's going to have to do with them trying to do anything they can to combat the SEC recently adding Texas and Oklahoma to their schedule. And again, this is going to allow teams, the bigger teams like your Clemsons, your Ohio States, your Michigans, et cetera, to be able to have more freedom and flexibility with their out-of-conference schedule, I do believe.
Well, but there's only how many out-of-conference games are there really? I mean, what are there, 3, 4 maybe? That's about it, right?
Yeah, it varies. It varies from conference to conference.
Usually early in the season, you play St. Mary's Sisters of the Poor because you're trying to build up, get your guys ready to play. There's no exhibition and this is just pertains to football, correct? Has no bearing on
this just pertains to to college football.
Okay. The sport that makes the most money in college athletics. Okay. And what brought this on, right? Oklahoma and Texas saying we're leaving the Big 12 and we're going to the SEC, I think in 2025. Mm-hmm. SEC is the best conference in college football. They'll be even stronger 5 years from now or 4 years from now. So what does the ACC do? And the Big 10 and, probably the Big 12, all these other, they're afraid because the SEC is just getting more powerful. So now we're going to try to punish the SEC, right? Isn't that what it is in essence? We want to see what we can do to generate more money since we're losing big teams in our conferences, right?
They say they want to do what they can to make it a more equal footing is the verbiage they use. Hey, they want more of an equal footing. That's what it is, Grump.
Well, each conference has their own teams. I mean, I don't know what they're talking about. Now, you're talking about, I'm assuming, and I'm just going to use Clemson and South Carolina as a sport, as a couple of teams we want to talk about, right? They have that history of playing each other every single year. Clemson is with the ACC, South Carolina is with the SEC. So in essence, they're going to say, okay, you're not going to be able to play Clemson. You're not going to be able to play South Carolina anymore, but you can play, I don't know, Nebraska or Michigan, Ohio State every year. I think I think really they really want to take the pulse of the teams who have rivalry games with the SEC.
And again, I think that is one of the items. I'm not sure that's been finalized. I think that's one of the items that they were talking about. They were talking about making it easier to schedule those out of conference games because they want to make sure that these bigger teams can generate revenue. So they're going to make it an easier flow through for them to play more of the tougher opponents so they can make more, bring more money in. And so they could say, this is why you should stay comfortable with the spot you are with the ACC, the Big Ten, the Pac 12, and not try to vacate and leave for the SEC.
I think they're going to run into an issue with fans. That's what I think. Do you think, Miami plays, Florida State and Florida play every year, right?
Yeah.
You have, Florida, Miami and Florida.
Let me ask you this. Who does that hurt more? And again, that I know that portion has not been agreed upon. Those are rumors. But let's say, for example, your Florida States are saying, and the ACC is saying, no, you're not allowed to play anybody in the SEC like that anymore. It's not going to hurt the ACC. They say, hey, instead of you playing Florida, which is one of those big rivalry games, instead we're going to let you play Michigan. Instead, we're going to let you play in Ohio State. Instead, we're going to let you play some other blue blood organization that's going to bring in the viewership. And now, where's Florida going to go? Are they just going to add another conference game on? Are they going to go ahead and play St. Mary's Sisters of the Poor again? Hurts them in the bank. It hurts their pocket, in my opinion. But again, I know that portion has not been agreed upon yet. There's a lot that's still moving. I wouldn't be shocked at all if these conferences want to do anything they can to try to go ahead and penalize the SEC for the moves they made, because they notice, right, the power is shifting in favor of the SEC. And they see, hey, we could lose a team like Florida State. We could lose a Clemson. We could lose an Ohio State. We could lose a Michigan. That would really hurt us long term. And it would probably, it would diminish our power.
Do you want to know what's laughable about the whole situation? All this stuff with teams moving conferences started with who? The ACC devouring the Big East in college basketball. That's what started the whole thing, right? It's hypocritical of them to do this. They don't like it. First of all, the ACC is they're an okay conference. They're a Power 5 conference. But the SEC is without a doubt the best conference in college football and has been for a long time. You want to know the people who suffer the most are the fans. As usual, the fans. Because the fans of these rivalry games, which are a big deal to the fan bases, really big. It's, you know what they're saying? I could care less if you have a rivalry game. It's all about money. And that's what it's always been about. It's what it always will be about. I just find the whole thing disgusting. It's like you're getting these teams want to play in the Big Daddy Conference. You don't like it, so we're going to try to punish you. I don't even know if it's legal, honestly. The NCAA would have to have something to say about that, and I'm going to bet there's going to be lawsuits also.
Who the hell knows? There's the NCAA's power and regulatory authority, I feel like, is just slipping little by little. I would not be shocked at all if something like this were to be pushed in action. I think it's always a power game. It's always about how whoever can make the most money is humanly possible. But you're right. Of course, who gets penalized in the short term before all the dust settles? The fans. Because, we're always coming last after, the most important thing to them, which is money.
That's right. And, once again, I just find it so hypocritical of the ACC. They started the whole thing. Whatever it was, 15 years ago, whenever it is that they effectively disbanded the Big East because for college basketball purposes, They absorbed Syracuse and
the Big 12 also absorbed West Virginia. They absorbed additional teams too. So it wasn't just the ACC. The Big 12 did it too. The Big 10.
It all started with the ACC. That's what started the whole thing. That's why I find them the most hypocritical. And I live in ACC country. I remember saying, dude, that's just wrong. And they did it for money. John Swofford did it for money back then. And everyone said, no, it's a bad idea. It's going to other conferences are going to do the same thing. Well, that's exactly what happened. As soon as you can't re-put the genie back in the bottle.
Once you let the horse out of the carriage, you can't put the horse back in. That's for sure.
Do you remember what I said when Oklahoma and Texas want to sign the agreement with the SEC? I said, you're going to see one of those power conferences is going to be gone. You're going to see other conferences trying to swallow them up. And you're going to have the issue like you're going to have now. who are they going to play? You only play so many college football games.
It's going to spurn the hell out of everybody who's on the outside looking in that is not of the highest quality in that per se. So you're going to see all the other teams again. If I'm a fan of a casual team that maybe we finish in the top 25, we're not a blue blood, but I root for them and I see what the SEC is doing. You vehemently hate the SEC. That's just how it is because they're going to take all. You would. Because you're the kid, if you're playing kickball, you're the kid who's been picked last or not been picked at all. That's what happens.
Well,
that's what happens with all the fan bases, too.
What would stop the SEC from getting a couple other big name schools to come in? They don't even need any of the extra ones. The only people who suffer are the fans.
That's my point. That's my point. They don't need any of the extra ones. That's exactly what I'm saying. So they only need to handpick your Clemsons. They only need to handpick your Ohio States, items like that. They don't have to worry about small schools like Louisville, a small school like Pittsburgh. They don't have to worry about schools like that. And you know what it does? It leaves all those other schools in this sort of limbo to where your power and what you guys had as the prestige of your conference diminished. All it does is piss those fans off too.
Thank you, John Swafford. Everyone saw this coming 15 years ago, however long it was that they joined. I don't remember exactly how long ago it was.
I think it was like 10, 11 years ago. It was probably more closer to 10 years ago. But yep, it's interesting to see that they're in the talks in some sort of alliance. I will be interested to see what comes out of this. That being said, I want to showcase some comments here. Alexander saying Tua looked great yesterday, Grump.
I tell you, I watched that game. And I said to myself, do you think Miami is regretting not picking Justin Fields over that noodle arm Tua Tagovailoa?
You meant to say Justin Herbert.
No. I'm talking about Justin Fields when they saw him live and in person because they could have drafted him this year too. And they chose to trade back a couple of times.
Oh, so you're saying they're not even you're not even looking at what they did in the past as a mistake. You're saying just what they've done even this year's draft is also they made a mistake too.
Right. I just don't think I don't think his arm is strong. Everything's a rock back and thrower. It's like, whoa, I'm rocking back to throw that ball. And he doesn't have any zip on it. I mean, I don't know. I thought there was a stark difference between the two quarterbacks. That's all I'm going to say. And here's the thing. I don't think Justin Fields is super ready to go. I thought he struggled a little bit in the first half against the second and third stringers. He looked good in the second half when he played. I just think he's got much more zip on the ball. I think it's the revenge of the young quarterbacks. I thought most of them looked really good in the first preseason game. Limited time. It is preseason. Pump the brakes, right? Okay, which I absolutely agree with. But I think there's a change in the guard coming in the NFL. Quarterback-wise.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, with the games you watched, who looked the best out of those young quarterbacks, those rookie quarterbacks, and who do you think may have struggled the most? And again, it's only one game through preseason.
Are you just talking about
out of the young rookie quarterbacks? That's correct.
I thought, who's the guy I was most impressed with?
Yes.
Trey Lance. Oh, my God. That kid, you got to remember, he's coming from
North Dakota State University,
right? Like used to be whatever. I don't know what they're called now.
They're Division One. They're Division 1 AA.
1 AA used to be, whatever it used to be.
No, it always was a 1 AA school.
Okay, so what I'm saying, school. They're not the NCAA. They're the next step below. I thought he showed, considering he hadn't really played one competitive game in the last, 17 months or whatever it is. I thought he wowed me a little bit with some of the throws he made. And you got to remember, playing for a 1 AA school, the terminology, the depth of the playbook is not there like it is at other schools. I said, as far as I'm concerned, Jimmy Garoppolo, put your house up for sale now because you're a unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. There's no way you're going back to San Francisco. You might as well, hey, the housing market is booming right now. Try to sell it and look for just move into an apartment or a hotel or whatever it is and get ready for your next destination.
So you thought Trey Lance looked you thought he looked that good, and that's an interesting point you bring up. He only played, I think, it was 1 or 2 games last year before he decided to sit out the season. And North Dakota State is remember, that's a team to where they did a lot of options, and he's a mobile quarterback. I remember watching Kurt Warner's breakdown on Trey Lance. He does a lot of things really well, and his ability to read the field is something that needs a little bit of improvement on. That was one of those issues he said that could give him a little bit of a stumbling block out of the gates. But he was always very impressed with his physical tangibilities.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has a lot to learn, but I'm just looking at the actual physical qualities that he has and abilities he makes to throw the ball and his movement and his accuracy on the move. I thought he looked pretty good. He's the kid who impressed me the most. I thought Wilson for the Jets, I thought he looked pretty sharp. I thought most of the rookie quarterbacks looked pretty good. Trevor Lawrence is going to struggle in Jacksonville. And here's a hot take. Urban Meyer is not going to last more than a year and a half with Jacksonville.
Really?
He's a college guy. College guys don't work out in the pros for the most part. I remember Lou Holtz, and everybody remembers Lou Holtz in Notre Dame, South Carolina. I remember he was at Arkansas first, and he was really successful, and he came to the Jets as a head coach. He lasted a year. Because you can't do that Johnny Rah-Rah stuff in the pros. It just doesn't work.
Sometimes it works. It works for Pete Carroll. It works occasionally. Sometimes it does not work because they rule with an iron fist.
Yeah, Pete Carroll did not start in college football. He started in the pros. He was the Patriots head coach, and then he went to USC and rebuilt his resume. Okay, Jimmy Johnson was a success coming out of college football. But most guys do not succeed. Nick Saban didn't, right? And everyone says he's the greatest. Like I said, Lou Holtz didn't. Great college coaches, but not good pro coaches. It makes a difference.
It's something different to coach a college student who, they're just learning everything. They really don't know what type of, I'm going to use air quotes, power they possess or power that the actual player has. In the NFL, they have you can't treat kids the way you do in college, and the NFL doesn't fly.
True.
But yeah, and so you thought, and then who looked? I'm going to ask you this, Grumpy. Who do you think had the most that you were kind of scratching your head with? You're just like, oh, I thought he was going to show a little more on the field. In your opinion, was that Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, I mean, and his numbers were okay, but it's like he holds onto the ball a little bit too long. But those are things you're gonna learn out of. For me, I question Jacksonville only because I don't have total faith in Urban Meyer. I mean, I know they drafted Etienne.
Travis Etienne.
Yeah, at the end and the second round, and I'm like, man, you really need some offensive linemen. And it was really obvious yesterday. I mean, like I said, I think Lawrence could be a good quarterback, but he could be infected with jagitis, just kind of like Sam Darnold and Mark Sanchez were infected with jetsitis. They had that disease, that loser disease. We can't seem to ever turn in a winning team. We're a loser franchise, and it winds up crushing these players.
Yeah, how often do you see that? If you don't have the good support pieces, you don't have the offensive line around, your quarterbacks are just left high to dry, and sometimes it could ruin a quarterback's career.
And another one, I thought Mac Jones is infinitely better than Cam Newton. Cam Newton blows. I never ever thought he was a great quarterback. I thought he was a fantastic athlete and an excellent football player, but never a great quarterback. And now he's just toast. He was last year too, though. I don't know why they brought him back. But
he was really, really cheap. They brought him back on a cheap, and I have no issue with them bringing him back. Bring him back on a cheap. It was a 1-year contract, and if he works out, awesome. You've got somebody that can help you solely ingratiate Mac Jones into the NFL. But if not, you're not going to eat that much cap for having him.
Yeah, but you know what? He's a great teammate when he's on top. I remember he played in my town, and to me, when things aren't going his way, he can be an absolute jerk. And everyone's afraid to say anything negative about him. And to me, he just sucks. And that's being generous, honestly.
That's being generous.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. And Kim is famous. That's Adrian, grumpy old man, saying, hey.
Yo, Adrian.
Are you not going to say what you always say?
I found out yesterday that her name isn't Adrian, it's Adrienne. And that's a typical TJ blunder, mispronouncing someone's name. And I, in essence, being affiliated with TJ, look like a fool.
Let me hear, Grump. Come on. I know you want to. Oh, man. Oh, man. Got a comment from Eli. Wow. Paul Pogba, Bruno Fernandes were insane against Leeds. 4 assists by Pogba and 3 goals by Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, I'll tell you. Hey, what did I tell you, grumpy old man? Watch out for Man United this year. The Red Devils are the Red Devils of the past. The old Sir Alex Ferguson Red Devils. You're going to see some dominance in the league, and they're going to look excellent, I believe, this season.
Paul Pogba, this is his last year at Man United. He'll be in Real Madrid next year. And Bruno Fernandes, you know what? The whole country of Portugal is saying, where the hell was this during the Euros when he was hideous?
I'll tell you, sometimes those players don't always gel as well. And I thought Bruno Fernandes in Euros tried to do way too much. I do. I think he tried to do too much. But here is the standings after the first week.
Please, get rid of the standings. We freaking 1 out of 38 means nothing. Nothing.
I knew that would piss you off a little bit, but I thought that Man United looked. I thought they looked dominant against Leeds. Man City lost to Tottenham.
Deserved to lose to Tottenham today too. No Harry Kane for Tottenham. There's still rumors flying around that he's going to be going to Man City. So let's see what happens in the next week or two.
It always shocks me that Pep Guardiola, again, he had that immediate dominance. And since then, I thought there's always been something missing. I'm not sure Harry Kane is the solution and the answer. I think that they do need a striker. As I said before, Gabriel Jesus is not the answer up top. But I'm not sure Harry Kane puts them over the top.
I'm not a Harry Kane fan. I think he's always been wildly overrated. Whatever they're paying for him is probably, if they're paying 150 million euros, that's probably 175 euros too much. I don't think much of him.
Oh, man. I will say there's something.
And I'm going to tell you what else. He does not fit the Pep Guardiola system at all. Not at all.
He's not a guy that is fleet of foot per se. He's more of a target man up top. He's not a guy I expect to be able to dribble, weave throughout, have unbelievable passing acumen. That's not him. He's a guy who says, stand here, head the ball in. We'll go ahead and let you have a tap in, etc. That's Harry Kane. Great at it, but does not fit into that system. Also wanted to talk one more, now that we're on the subject of soccer, EPL. Arsenal went ahead and lost to Brentford to kick off the EPL season 2-0. Jesus.
Martin Odegaard is rumored to be moving there permanently from Real Madrid. They're a team that needs a little bit. They need a little bit of juice.
Well, the fun thing here is that Amazon Prime's All or Nothing is showcasing Arsenal Football Club this season. And you want to talk about something that I think is an absolute must watch this year. It's that show. Because remember, Aubameyang's contract expires at the end of the year. I think also Lacazette's contract expires at the end of the year. And you've got, their manager is definitely on the hot seat.
When, those guys, while have been really good players for them over the years, they're getting long in the tooth now. I don't think they've navigated the transition from as a team getting older and kind of backfilling with younger players as of right now. So
I feel like Mikel Arteta has got to be on the hot seat too.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know enough about him to comment, but just looking at that picture of him, don't unpack your bags.
Well, I do love, and here's another thing, right? Anytime you have any of these documentary series that are filming everything that goes on behind the scenes, it's a distraction. It is.
Yes.
No other way to cut it. And it takes away from the team focus on the primary goal, which is, to win the Premier League, which is to make it to the championship or the Champions League. That, those are always your automatic goals. And you've got people filming you saying, hey, we need you to comment on XYZ. When you have to, it's a distraction. And I wonder if this is going to be something that could derail and prevent Arsenal from having a successful season.
But it also could make for really exciting TV, right? You see a team implode. I mean, I always think that's fun to watch, particularly when it's a team that I don't necessarily care about. It's always just kind of fun to watch that. But it is a distraction, right? Instead of you focusing on training, it's like, okay, yeah, we have the cameras here. Maybe you're a goofball in practice. Maybe you don't want to show that. You just kind of get out of your norm. That's all.
Or you lose 2-0 to Brentford, right? And I love it. You see, like, hey, the first episode of All or Nothing is going to be same old Arsenal or something like that. And the fans, I tell you, the fans are awesome. Those Arsenal fans have seen and they've endured quite some trying times. But that's one of those things. I think Arteta, if he doesn't turn it around, I think he could be on a really, really short leash.
One thing you can see in world soccer, guys don't get 2 or 3 years to turn a team around.
He's been here for over a year, though. He's been with Arsenal for over a year.
Okay, but what I'm saying in general, if you're struggling in your first year, boom, you're gone. That's just that. No sympathy. They're cutthroat over there. 5-year plan. 5-year plan. You have like a 5-month plan here. You better get it turned around.
Oh my goodness.
Injuries, I don't care.
It is funny how they take that and they say, yeah, even though it happened, was your plan B. You didn't make it work, you're still gone. Alexander's saying, boy, the SEC, they're getting better and better.
Without a doubt. I mean, I think I was surprised when I heard that news a few weeks ago. I'm like, ooh, interesting that they supposedly Oklahoma and Texas approached the SEC, which I thought was interesting. Don't tell me there was not two-way communication on that. The SEC didn't want to take the hit. That's why you heard that it all came from the teams that they initiated it. That's just the way I feel.
Really convenient. Always. Oh, we didn't have anything to do with the original. Yeah, the talks. Yeah, bullshit.
I mean, you look at a team like South Carolina, right? It plays Clemson every year. Okay, so we don't have Clemson. Okay, well then we're going to put Oklahoma on our schedule. Or we're going to put Texas on our schedule. It might not be a rivalry game, but it's still a big game.
As I said, the exact same approach I took with the Champions League and that Super League they're trying to form. The powers that be do not like to surrender any power. And you're going to see, I think, a swift reaction of equal or greater value by the other teams that are on the outside looking in from the SEC. And hey, it makes for drama. It makes it fun for us to talk about. I will be interested to see, what is going to come from this alliance and what the outlying rules are going to be.
All I know is Princess Leia once said, "The more you tighten your grip, the more the star system just slip through your fingers."
Oh goodness! Master Lego Yoda said, "What is with the Mets? By the way, they get by us and they just go backwards.
They're done. They're done." They're getting rolled tonight by the Dodgers. They're finished. They're finished. It's typical Mets, though, isn't it? Really typical Mets.
Well, he went back to the disabled list 2 days ago, so they got him back, and they lost him immediately thereafter. Jacob deGrom's having forearm issues, so they had to shut him down. So they originally said, hey, he might be back by early September, possibly. Yeah, maybe mid-September, late September in best case scenario. So, there's your ace who's going to be out. And you're right. You talk about typical Mets. This is freaking typical Mets.
And you don't know when Lindor's coming back. I mean, the Lindor trade, I thought it was a good trade for the Mets. They signed him to a huge deal and he underperforms. I think he'll be better next year. There's a lot of pressure when you sign a contract like that. So maybe he was gripping the bat a little bit tight. Just a shame for Mets fans, really.
Francisco Lindor's had a miserable season. He has. There's no other way to cut it. And this is, but seriously, look at the last few years he's had. I mean, when he was playing in 2020, I know, albeit in a shortened season, the numbers weren't all necessarily that spectacular.
Yeah, I think 2 years ago he was really good.
Yeah,
Really, really
yeah,
good.
2 years ago. But here's a question that's something that makes me ponder. Was he doing something to give him that type of competitive edge? Because, the power hasn't been there like it has in Cleveland when he was there, and, the average hasn't been there either. Um, y 2 years in a row of, underperforming, on the diamond, that leads me to believe that might be a trend.
His
1
swing,
year, sure, maybe it's an outlier. 2 years, yeah.
his swing. The Athletic did a nice article, I want to say a couple of months ago, detailing his difference in his swing pattern from now and what it was in his heyday in Cleveland. It's distinctly different. So maybe he needs to, hit the videotape, go back to that and see. But you don't know what the Mets are teaching, what their hitting coaches are saying to do either. Maybe they want a little bit more power. Okay, let's get a little bit more uppercut. I'm never
I
believed
need
in
more.
that.
I need more of a. What do they call that? I need more of the. What is it?
Launch angle.
I need more of a launch angle. I need more velocity and launch angle off the
you
bat
know,
from you.
I'm just a big believer in, okay, you found something that's worked. You're a guy who's hitting 320, whatever it was when he was in Cleveland. All right, you weren't hitting 40 home runs, but you were hitting 15, 20, spraying the ball all over the park. And now all of a sudden it's like, okay, let's try to uppercut the ball. It's like when Jason Giambi came to the Yankees, right? And a lot of players, left-handers, have this issue when they go to the Yankees. They have that short right field porch. So they alter their swing, trying to pull everything and get it up in the air to right field. I mean, it used to be in the old Yankee Stadium, 296 feet down the
The
line.
old Polo Grounds.
No, not Polo Grounds, Yankee Stadium. And, it was 296 down the line. And, that's a lot. In Boston, it's like, oh, yeah, well, it's like 285 down the line. Yeah, but here's the line, and then it just shoots straight back. So unless you're hitting the foul pole practically, you still got to hit it a distance. Where Yankee Stadium had that short porch, and it's always benefited left-handed hitters. That's what amazes me about the Yankees is like, why are you getting right-handed pull hitters when your park is tailor-made for lefties? Crazy.
I will tell you. You're going to be angry with me, Grump, but I want to make sure everybody knows that who listens to this podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you like and follow us there on Facebook and Twitter because you want to make sure you don't miss out on any of the action. Again, we go live every single Sunday, as we mentioned earlier, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and usually every single Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know it didn't have a call to action or anything like that, Grump, as you like to say, but make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the action.
Yes. You should mention that right at the top, like everyone else does.
You started off by coming at me for being late, so I totally forgotten, Grumpy.
Well, you should start as soon as you say, hey, if you like the then you start that, and then you introduce me.
Okay, I'll switch it up then. Master Lego Yet also said, also, I enjoyed the Islanders podcast last night with the Owls Girl 3 on it. Gives me a break from TJ saying stupid things all the time. LOL.
It was very pleasant for me as well, not having to listen to TJ.
Oh, goodness gracious.
TJ shows a purpose, though. Let's give him his credit.
Alexander also said, hit the head on the nail or hit the nail on the head. It's all about the money. Whatever brings in the most revenue.
That's all we care about. Could care less about anything else.
Eli said, Jets beat the Giants in preseason. Zach Wilson looks sharp. I'm ready for the regular season to start.
Yeah, and Eli, I'm just going to say pump the brakes. It was, exhibition game 1. So I think next week, they always said game 3 was the one where you can tell who the starters are going to be. I think next week is the one where you're going to see. I think it's going to be like with only 3 preseason games. You're going to see game 1 is what it always has been. Game 2, you're going to see the majority of the starters playing, maybe into the second quarter, maybe close to halftime. And then game 3 is going to be, hey, just don't get anybody hurt. And guys just trying to make the roster. So you're going to see game 2 is going to be like a condensation of games 2 and 3 in the old system.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Alexander here is saying Bears offense only had 79 total yards, Grump, in the first half versus first team defense.
True. I'm not saying the Bears are the greatest thing ever. I'm just saying that I was impressed by Justin Fields.
Speaking about Justin Fields, I have a few quick comments that he made as of recent, and it's always funny anytime you see a guy. And you're right. We talked about how early this is. Sporting News came out and happened to share some comments about what they think about Justin Fields' ability to get ingratiated with the league. He said, "Oh well, I'll show you first." They say Justin Fields is already adjusted to the speed of the NFL. Week 1 in preseason, and Justin Fields said, it actually was kind of slow to me, to be honest."
Well, yeah, when you're playing against second and third string, that's what it's going to be. The talent level is probably like playing, I don't know. Give me maybe not. Indiana was pretty good last year. I don't know.
It's like playing another NFL. It's like playing a very, very good college football team, bare minimum. It's like playing an elite level college football team on the second and third. These are guys that may not make it out of camp. They may make it out of camp, but they're not the same level. And Shannon Sharp obviously said no, he isn't. Wait until defenses start scheming for him.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing: the kid can play. I did not understand why he dropped in the draft like he did. He's always been neck and neck with the Lawrence kid since high school, and he just kind of fell off the planet where Chicago was able to trade up, get him number 11, but you look at a comment like that, and it just, for me, it reminds me when Bobby Bonilla said to the press after he signed with the Mets, he's like, "Yeah," he's like, "You know what? I got this smile on my face. I'm gonna dare you to knock it off." I'm like, "Oh boy, yeah, that's it. Tell the New York press that you want them to try to knock the smile off your face." And that just, that was it for him. But the Mets still pay him every year, I think till 2035. It was a good contract he signed. I'm going to tell you that much.
Yeah, he's getting $1.5 million every single year. Bobby Bonilla Day, losing Mets infamy.
If you can't live on that kind of money, you got problems with money management. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes. Master Lego Yoda also says, this is Master Lego Yoda telling the grumpy old man to stop hating on Josh Bailey. Hurting my feelings, you are. Great passer he is. 18 assists in the bubble he had. Pick on him, you must not.
No, it's
how could you come at those very wise words of Master Yoda, Grumpy?
Okay, first of all, you have to read it in the Yoda accent.
You could do the Yoda accent, Grumpy. I'll let you do it.
Hurting my feelings, you are. Great passer he is. 18 assists in the bubble he had. Pick on him, you must not. So, my Yoda isn't great, but it was better than your whatever it was that you were doing.
I was just reading, and the Master Lego Yoda also said, also, guys, let me know your opinion on Trevor Lawrence and how he played last night. He looked any good. So you're thinking it's more just a team that's around him. Again, every single one of these young guys are going to have that adjustment time period, but the Jags are pretty bare bone.
Yeah, there were a couple of times when he needed to get rid of the ball and he held on to it too long. Okay, you're not going to get 5-10 seconds back there like in college. 2-3 seconds, that ball's got to be out of your hands. Cannot hold it forever and ever. Never. Can't do it.
Alexander's saying, I know we go back and forth on Tua Tagovailoa, guys, but he had a better first year than Josh Allen. Don't throw in the towel on Tua just yet. Hey, I'll tell you this. Josh Allen's one of those guys where I'm keeping a close eye on this season. I thought Grumpy brought up a lot of good points that he's a guy from Wyoming, played in a really small atmosphere in college, and last year when he lit the world on fire and had an excellent time, he was playing in empty stadiums. So, how is it going to be when you have the noise and the atmosphere back in there? Maybe he's a guy who does a great in one of these practice type scenarios when the fans and, everything else that is a part of that makes the NFL game day experience aren't really magnified. So I'm not saying that he's going to fall off the face of the earth, but is he going to be passing for 4,500 yards this next season? I'm not sure.
I've always felt that Josh Allen had the tools to be a really good quarterback. The thing that I compare him with Tua should have been further along. He should have had a better rookie year than Allen did, because Tua came from an Alabama program that, is really, really good. He got superior coaching to what Josh Allen was getting in Wyoming for certain. Nick Saban is just a better coach. They are dialed. Alabama's dialed in to what the NFL does. So he should have been further along. My issue with Tua is his ball floats. Yeah, he can complete some, but man, when there's tight windows down the field, I'm not a fan of how he just kind of floats the ball down there. I think you see a lot of interceptions from him. That's just the way I feel. And like I said, Josh Allen could throw the ball through a wall.
He can. What is it, 70 yards he throw on his knee or one knee or something like that? Yeah, he's got crazy arm strength, and that's a guy where I wish he relies a little less on his legs as he continues to mature. They've got, some more wide receiver threats in Buffalo. I'll be very interested to see how he does, though, with the real NFL back, with fans in the stands and with hostile environments he's going to be going to. Something he never faced in Wyoming, something he faced his first 2 years, never really did terrific at. His third year, he broke out, no fans in the stand. Not saying it's an exact science, but we might see him return a little bit back down to earth.
It's funny. A lot of times I see Tua throw it, he doesn't use his legs. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I wonder what the Vegas odds of him getting hurt again are.
Yeah, I'm sure pretty high. I mean, he only played in a handful of games in limited time last year, so I'll be interested to see, can his body hold up a full NFL season? That's also an important question.
And he did play 9 games last year. And they were better with Fitzpatrick in there, but it was the right thing for Miami to do. I always say that. You needed to find out if he could play. They felt satisfied that he could. I'm still questioning it. As I said last year before last year's draft, Herbert was the guy for me. And I just couldn't understand why they were tunneling up on Tua, to be honest with you. But they did, and they still like what they saw last year, so they didn't draft a quarterback this year when they had a multitude of picks. One of the top 3 when they could have had Trey Lance. To me, Trey Lance is going to be a better pro than Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, when all said and done.
Okay. Grumpy Alexander said Blake Bortles jagitis as well. And we're going to show Grumpy. I'll make sure to show Grumpy the Islanders video you tagged us in. I know it's like 20 minutes long, but I'll make sure I pass it along. But Blake Bortles also had jagitis as well.
Well, he was a guy coming from Central Florida before Central Florida was any good, and he was drafted 3rd. And
hold on, Blake Bortles, when he came from Central Florida was a good team before he left, or his senior year. They were a good team.
Not where they are now, is what I'm saying. Now people acknowledge, okay, they were a good team. That was the start. You're talking about 10 years ago, or whatever it was, 8 or 9 years ago. They were not a household name then. He was a reach at number 3, and he didn't pan out. I mean, the Jags had a couple of good years with him there, but they are what they are. I hate their color scheme. Their uniforms suck.
I would be shocked if the Jaguars. It's one of those things when I see the Jaguars and I see the Raiders as of recent. Again, the Raiders as of old were an absolute powerhouse, but those are the teams right there. I'm just like, there's something about them. I'm not sure they're ever going to get to the pinnacle. They're ever going to get to the top again.
You got to remember, I was a Raiders fan way, way, way back when Darryl LaMonica was quarterback and Kenny Stabler.
Kenny the Snake Stabler.
The Snake, and Darryl LaMonica was the Mad Bomber. I mean, that was when I was a kid. I loved the Raiders. Jacksonville's no Raiders.
I'm just saying, of course they're not, but I'm just not sure that, Trevor Lawrence, what do they call him? Mr. Sunshine is going to be bringing them arrays of heavenly goodness anytime soon. And they've got so many holes on that team. It's going to be interesting to see how they try to protect him. You don't want him to get battered all his first season.
Yes, that's the issue with them.
Alexander also saying that Rojas needs to go, and Eli saying Mets are done. Yankees are on the rise, aka the 2021-2022 World Series champions.
I don't know if they're good enough to win a championship series. Their offense is really one-dimensional, and to me, that's what's going to beat them. If you come up a team that can throw 3 solid arms at you in the playoffs, they're done. I just feel that they don't know how to manufacture runs. Everything's a home run.
Absolutely.
That's the problem I have with how the team is built. Foolish.
Eli also saying thoughts on the kid, Tyler Gilbert, who got the no-hitter yesterday. I loved his dad's reaction, Grump. I'll make sure I have that pulled up. But it was his first career start in the MLB, and he threw a no-hitter. And again, this is not, one of these guys who are, hey, they're a highly vaunted prospect. He's a top prospect. Oh, this is great. We're seeing him come to fruition. He's a guy who just really broke into the league this season. He's 27-year-old. He's not a guy who's had a lot of long-term success really at all in the MLB.
Yeah, I tell you what a feel-good story, right? You see his dad's reaction. I mean, it's just great. So happy for him. I mean, just fantastic. I mean, isn't that what you love about sports, really? Something like that. I mean, I did not see the game yesterday, but I could just imagine that you just see the dad's reaction in the stands. as he's getting close to the no-hitter, and it warms my heart. It's just wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too.
I cannot feel grumpy about that.
I think it means more even to, and I'll show this here for you, Grumpy.
How about this? The last man standing for the Padres. Center field. Marte. Yeah! It's a no-hitter.
Yeah, to me, that's just
there he is.
What people forget is how much it means to the whole family. It's not just the player, and those things just warm my heart. I thought it was a fantastic moment. The whole family was celebrating because he's 27 years old. It's not like he's 21. He's been toiling in the minors for years and years just to get his chance. He gets called up finally, and he throws a no-hitter. I mean, just that's fairy tale stuff. Really is.
And again, this is a guy who's been in, single A ball, double A ball, triple A ball. This guy's been living and as a minor league guy, not making much, paycheck to paycheck. I mean, you're not making much in the minor leagues. You're still able to sustain a lifestyle, but you're not making much. And just the sacrifice his family's had and he's had to get to that point to where he started off in the bullpen. He had a few appearances. I think it was 3 or 4. And they said, hey, you're going to go ahead and start a game. And this is how he tops it off with a no-hitter. That's something that it's honestly, it's one of those first career start, first no-hitter. It's one of those, it's really good for the sport, and I think it's excellent for that young man as well. Again, dedication that gets you to the point. Alexander also saying Rojas overmanages a lot. On Friday night, he brings in Familia instead of Loop, who is our best reliever, and Familia, who has worked 3 consecutive days, comes in and gives up a 2-run homer.
You wonder if it's the analytics nerds saying, hey, this is how he pitches against this guy. He's had incredible success. And, this other guy, he gives up fly balls to these type of players. So this is the guy to go with. I mean, you're seeing a lot more of that in baseball, where back in the olden days when Billy Martin was a manager, Earl Weaver, they went with gut. Who's the guy who could do it? And maybe Rojas is that type of guy too. I don't know him well enough, but whatever it is, it didn't work. Let's just put it that way.
What a films? What's up? What a long time. And then he says, hey guys, joining late. Grumpy, do the Dallas Cowboys have a chance this year?
I think they have a chance to win their division. It's the weakest division in football. So I think they have a legitimate chance to win that division if Dak Prescott can stay healthy. That's what the whole thing is predicated on. I mean, I think their defense is going to give up points. But if Prescott is healthy, they can put up points as well. I think the Giants are nothing. The Reds, Washington, whatever they call themselves now.
The Washington football team still.
Yeah. I mean, what are they? They're pretty good defensively. They're okay offensively. Ryan Fitzpatrick is your quarterback. So, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs with him in there. The Eagles are the Eagles. Right now, they're not very good. When Joe Flacco is your best option at quarterback, how good at his age, how good could they be?
Yeah.
But I don't see them going any further than that. I don't see them winning, making a Super Bowl run.
The division's hideous. I always wonder how Ezekiel Elliott's going to bounce back this year. We talk about it all the time. Running backs only have so much tread on the tires. Last year, I would argue that Tony Pollard was a better running back for the Cowboys option-wise than Ezekiel Elliott was last year. The guy had fumbleitis, couldn't hold on to the ball to save his life. And I wonder what he's going to look like this season. If they could have Ezekiel Elliott back of old, I think that really helps the team. And you don't have to rely so much upon Dak Prescott, because the wide receiver threats are there. The offensive line is still, a very, very solid offensive line. Dak Prescott, if you could let him slowly get back into it, because Ezekiel Elliott can carry the load, you're going to be in okay shape.
Yeah, part of the reason why Elliott had a poor year last year, because he was not poor early on when Prescott was healthy. As soon as he got hurt, everyone just keyed on Elliott. I mean, they effectively just totally neutralized him. He was on my fantasy team, and it was really disappointing. Very disappointing.
Very disappointing. Alexander saying Justin Herbert will be another Ryan Tannehill 2.0.
Everyone, I love Alexander, but I could not disagree with him more than on that statement. Ryan Tannehill is he's a system guy, try not to lose. The other kid can be a winner in this league.
Man, oh man, yeah, I was about to say I'm
He
very
makes all the throws. That kid makes all the throws, and he's able to read defenses. You got to remember what he did. I mean, all right, and San Diego did not have a great record last year, but they were in just about every single game, not because of their defense, because of him throwing the ball. Everybody remembers Austin Eckler, another guy who was on my fantasy team last year, had that hamstring injury where he missed the majority of the season, and that really limited what they could do on the ground and in the screen game where Eckler excels. And so he had to go to other targets, right? Hunter Henry, perpetually injured. But Keenan Allen, right? He had that he was able to team up with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I mean, I thought he did a really nice job last year finding secondary receivers. He's not fully there yet, but he's not Ryan Tannehill, in my opinion.
Oh man, I will tell you. Next week, we're going to be talking about this more in depth. But slowly tonight, they're releasing the number 100 through 41 as voted by as the players in the NFL. So, when you see, the players are voting on this list, usually it's pretty accurate. There always are some that are head scratchers, but that just shows you, hey, we're not actually in on it. There's some grumpy that they're in positions that are left scratching my head, like Ryan Tannehill's in the top 100. Baker Mayfield, 71. We'll talk about it more as the actual full list comes out. But man, oh man.
Hold it. So you're going to dump on Baker Mayfield again? He led Cleveland to the playoffs for the first time in forever? Since 1990? I mean, it's been forever since they made the playoffs. I'm not saying he's a top 10 player in the league, but he certainly did the job last year. Yes, he has weapons, but he led a perpetual loser to one drive from advancing to the AFC Championship game. I mean, I got to give him credit for that.
I will also tell you this, too. I see guys like Garrett Bowles and number 82, the offensive lineman for the Broncos. You're just kind of left, holy shit, no freaking way. There's some names on this list where I'm just left baffled. I remember the Bowles of past, and this was in the 2019 season. He had 45 penalties, and I think last year he had a substantial amount of penalties. You'll have to go and do some research back through it. But man, oh man, some of these players where they're rated are just, they leave me kind of scratching my head. Again, I didn't watch enough of the Broncos games. I just know the Broncos were pretty piss poor in general last season. But we're going to look at those lists as they come out, 1 to 100.
And that list is generated by the NFL Network.
Well, no, it's voted on by the players.
Right, but it's the NFL Network puts it out.
Yes. So yeah. So as we're starting to get it, Grump, I'll give you a chance to prepare for it, but we'll get to talk about where you think players should have been rated higher, should have maybe been rated a little lower. We'll cover that kind of in depth.
Well, you only have to worry about the top 10. That's where you're going to find Tom Brady. So I'm expecting top 5 finish for him again.
You're expecting top 5 finish? Where are you putting him? You're putting him in number 5? Where are you putting Tom Brady at?
Number 1.
Number 1. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I know it will. But what he did last year was absolutely incredible. Torn MCL, new team, pandemic, no off-season workouts, leads them to a Super Bowl. A team that is another perennial loser, has the lowest winning percentage of any team in sports over the last 50 years, percentage-wise. He comes through and he leads them to a championship.
You're not biased at all with Tom Brady.
I am biased, but it was an absolutely incredible accomplishment. Incredible.
Oh. What a film's also saying. I could have asked TJ, he's a football player. What do you guys think? The Cowboys have been a disaster. Now I'll hit on this one more time. Like the Cowboys have, I always love the fans like, hey, this is our year. It's the Cowboys' year. I will tell you, as long as Dak Prescott stays healthy, I think this is your chance to be more of your year than any year in the past. A healthy Dak Prescott, that offense is firing on all cylinders. The offensive weapons that are there are deadly. And when you don't have to rely upon just Elliott to carry the load, I think he returns a little bit back to himself. The defense has kind of had holes in it. They've had that for a while, but I think they tried to address it this year in the draft.
Yeah. And, their offensive line is getting a little older now. That was the strength of their team for the last number of years, but I don't think it is anymore. A lot of guys getting older. injuries, retirement. So we'll see how it goes. But I agree with TJ. It all depends on Dak Prescott's health.
Master Lego Yoda said TJ is probably someone who would show Grumpy that the Mets are 1-0, and it's and it's a 162 game season.
That is exactly what he does. Hey, you know what? Let's cancel the rest of the La Liga season. Real Madrid is in first place after one game. That's it.
That's not
They're champions.
Hey, I like to zoom in and look at things just like I like to look at it midway through the season.
It's week 1.
Okay, I get it. The EPL's in week 1, but Arsenal shouldn't be losing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Grump. They shouldn't be losing to Brentford week freaking 1.
It's week 1. It's week 1. It's week 1. It's week 1.
It is. But
I remember the New England Patriots. I remember the New England Patriots in 2000. It was either 2003 or 2004. They just cut Lawyer Malloy, and he moved over to Buffalo. They played Buffalo in the first week, and they get beat 31-0. I think it was 2004. They get beat 31-0, and then they go off and they wind up winning the Super Bowl. They go 17-2 or 17-1 the rest of the way. You can't count the first game. It doesn't mean anything, especially with 38 weeks in EPL. 38 weeks. Not 38, 38 games. Think about that. It's stupid. It's
guess what? I'm going to tell you. Arteta's on the hot seat, and losing games like that to Brentford sure as shit don't help.
You know what? If he comes back and he wins the next 5 games and beats Man City and Man United, then they're going to think he's the greatest thing ever.
That's right. Have you seen Arsenal's upcoming schedule?
No. I bet you TJ does. This is what he does. He tries to prove a point, something ridiculous. There's something we're going to talk about a little bit later that proves something that TJ was so wrong about, historically wrong.
I don't know what that is, but okay. Okay. Arsenal plays Chelsea this upcoming Sunday. Then they play Man City. So they have lost to Brentford, which was supposed to be, hey, this should be essentially a warm-up game. They've got Chelsea, they've got Man City, then they play Norwich City, Burnley, and then Tottenham. So you're talking about out of their next 5 games, you've got Chelsea, Man City, and Tottenham.
Well, there's one guaranteed win in there when they play Burnley. That much I can tell you.
Oh, it's not like you're trying to just shit on me because I'm a Burnley fan, are you, Grump?
Oh, I didn't realize you were a Burnley fan. They just suck.
Oh, so
who'd Burnley lose to this week?
They wound up losing to Brighton Hove Albion.
Buh.
Yeah, it was a rough loss, but we won't talk about that. But all I'm saying is you've got an Arsenal team, and Arteta could be starting off the season 2-4. Let's assume that they beat Norwich City and they go ahead and beat Burnley and they do what they're supposed to in those games and they lose against Tottenham, they lose against Man City, and they lose against Chelsea. They could be starting off the season 2-4. Yeah. I'm sorry, that's not really acceptable for Arsenal standard. And hey, now we're looking at, hey, we are more like almost 20% of the way through the season.
Oh my God, you're not just no.
Oh, that's what I'm saying now, Grump. Okay,
no.
I'm just saying, Grumpy. We're moving right along there. What a film said. I watched the podcast last night, but what a great show. Grumpy shined.
Thank you, Wood. I'm surprised that TJ even posted that comment.
I think I lost that comment. Hey guys, I lost that comment. That comment didn't exist.
I'm sure.
Alexander saying, I heard Prescott has another injury that they are worrying about. I know it's his shoulders a little banged up from my
understanding. We talked about that on Thursday. But he wants to get out there and throw. And I think that the Cowboys are being very, very wise to limit him. TJ had a nice breakdown on why he thought the shoulder could be a little bit sore, being the fact that he maybe is nursing that leg a little bit, which you tend to use more of your shoulder as opposed to throwing with your legs. Like I said, I defer to him on those things without doubt.
I want to talk a few more football pieces now. The NFL is back. I want to show you first off, this is a meme that is going around, and I'm not sure if it's because people hate Tim Tebow or it's because he's easy to shit on. I have no idea. Now, this is Tim Tebow, and it starts off, the quote is, Tim Tebow blocks like a former quarterback turned baseball player turned tight end. And, everybody's laughing it up. Oh, ha, 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 Tim Tebow, we can't block a soul. And you could tell here, I'll let you watch it in the whole play.
Okay, well, it looks like he did what he did. All right, was it a tech? His thing. He just was supposed to wall his guy off. That's what he did. He did his job. Believe me, there's a lot worse blocking tight ends than that. Without a doubt.
I was about to say the guy's crashing down. 59's crashing down. He's squeezing the edge. He doesn't. Okay, 59 is not doing his assignment because he should realize that this is not hitting. Well, maybe it was supposed to hit in this portion right here, but because Tim Tebow and 59 went ahead and absorbed each other, allowed it to bounce out, and it opens that up. Was it a pretty block? Absolutely not, but it got the job done. And your buddy 37 kick it out and gain yards.
At the end, and TJ knows what he's talking about when it comes to blocking. At the end of the day, that's what the whole thing's about, right? Getting the job done. And that's what he did. Maybe the guy, he got across his face too quick, so he didn't want to hit him in the back and draw a penalty. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Maybe he wasn't fast enough off the ball, whatever it was. But that guy was really crashing down, and Tebow could not get in front of him. So he just did what he could. I mean, his thing, Tebow's a smart football player. Is he a great tight end? No. Was he a great professional? No. Will he ever be a great professional? No. But he was a fantastic college player.
He was. I'll tell you one thing. I look at Tebow's physique. I would not be shocked at all if he's doing something or he's on something. That son of a bitch is huge. For what I've seen him when he used to operate at quarterback, maybe this is just like, hey, now I've always been a guy who can put on weight easy. When I was quarterback, I had to be more slender because I wanted more flexibility. I wanted more ability to move. But the guy looks, I wouldn't be shocked at all if he's doing something along the lines that are borderline. The guy is, hey, if not, hey, power to him. He's looking big. That's all I'm going to say with that too, Grumpy.
You know what? I'm rooting for him.
I do too. I don't root against Tim Tebow. He's not a great guy. He's not a great quarterback, but he's a real nice guy. He's real articulate. He's a really nice guy.
He's really a nice guy. A friend of mine knows him, and just a really, really nice kid. He's 33 years old. They're old kids to me, but he's 33 years old now. But just a real nice kid and a gentleman. And you know what? I just root for people like that. I just felt he always got, because of his belief in God, he was being attacked, and I just think that's wrong.
I want to talk more about how football is back, ladies and gentlemen. We showed a little brawl in the stands back when there were two baseball fans doing it. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to leave this here for you, grumpy old man. Now, this is a Los Angeles Rams fan that is fighting with other fellow Los Angeles Rams fans. As to what they're fighting about, have no earthly idea. But let's just go ahead and let it break down. Oh, that's loud. I'm going to lower that a little bit for us. This guy right here, he's being held back like a dog, and you could tell everybody else is just, this guy looks like he's got a smirk on. They're getting into it. Who the hell knows what's going on? This guy is smiling and laughing the entire time, but it looks like this guy is all against 3 or 4 different individuals.
Well,
Was that Grump? I'll let you comment.
I don't know who started it, but it seems like this guy's going at this whole crowd over here for some reason. I don't understand.
It does look, and this guy right here, he's just smiling, laughing. He's like, "Hey, buddy, let's just calm down. It's a preseason football game." And I was like looking at the fans who are standing, and they're in like a comfortable range of viewership to where they're not close enough where if anything crazy happens, they're going to get drug into it, and they get to watch us on the show. You see these guys right over here, the big smiles on their face, like, "Oh, I hope something goes on over here." I always do like laughing at them too. I wonder how many adult beverages this guy was having before he went into the stadium. I see the beers here. I wonder how intoxicated he was.
It looks
now
like
this. Let me go back on this real quick. So we see this girl, and I'm sorry I didn't mention her. You see her. She's just she's staying in the back, but we see her. She goes and grabs this Coca-Cola. And the guys turn around. This is his wife, like, "Hey, man, let's go ahead and get out of this." This is his girl. Maybe he's like, "Let's get out of here. You're getting mixed up. I mean, you're drunk. Let's go home."
He's fully lubricated at this point. Oops.
This girl launches the Coca-Cola. She launches the Coca-Cola at him. And the guys turn around. It looks like we're going to be able to get everything to subside. And she hits him. She hits both of them is what it looks like. And that is enough to say everything that I was doing is now justified. And the guy goes at it.
and his guy's trying to hold him back.
Okay, right now it's 1, 2, 3. It looks like about one guy on 4, and his friend who was holding him back, he's like, "You got it, my friend. I'm no longer mixed up in this. It's you fighting these 4 individuals."
You know what it's like? It's like a cricket hopping into, or grasshopper going into an ant nest.
One more? Oh,
like in, what the heck was that movie, Bug's Life, where he dominates the little ants, and then they finally realize, hey, there's a lot more of us than there is of you, brother, and we're going to see what happens. Let's see if I'm right. Uh-oh. I don't see anybody helping him out. He's absorbing a lot of punishment.
This guy right here, he's our voice of reason. He's like, hey, we already won. The guys calm down. He's trying to stop this. And all these guys continue to pound on 91 over here. He's like, hey, let's not keep pounding hell. Now they're throwing more.
Now they're throwing more liquid. Like, forget it. Everybody.
He fans back here. Oh, these fans are like, wow. I always love watching that.
I hate, you know what I hate? Everyone videotaping it. Do you really enjoy the moment?
Oh, her shirt's about coming off over here. Lady who originally instigated.
Okay, first of all, a girl like that should not be wearing a shirt that small. Sorry. You're just asking for trouble. There was a couple, it's a whole bunch of them in the stands that look like that. I'm like, I mean, come on, honey. Oh, he looks,
they're throwing beer cans. Full beer cans is what it looks like, because that thing came zipping through over here. This one, I missed it. But this beer can they threw, looked about it, was pretty damn full.
Gotta love going to live events. Ooh, yeah, that one come right for
I was about to say, that looked like it was pretty damn full. Hey, they always
I think that's a security guard. I think that guy in the yellow is a security guard.
Is he? Let's see.
I think so.
Oh, yeah. He's like, hey, let's go ahead. Oh, he's yanking the other guy.
Look at this guy.
He's maybe mixing it up, too. Oh,
yeah. The other guy with the plug. He was the guy trying to hold him back all that time. My guy, pull your pants up, bro.
Hold on. Here's our lady. Here's our lady again. The one who originally started this by throwing the Coca-Cola. She's now mixing it up, too. I don't know what the hell's going on. Now she's coming at this guy.
I don't know, but he should pull his pants up.
This lady has covered, and she's slowly meandered about, and it's caused so many of these. She's had a touch on every little bit that we're seeing in this video.
Here's the thing, boys and girls. This is why you make sure that you have pants that are high enough. You don't have your pants lower than your underwear, and you wear a belt, especially a big fellow like that. It's just a bad look. I'm sorry. I mean, that's your national TV appearance, is showing your ass, literally. Not a good look.
And I feel the one who I feel the worst for, obviously the fans who are caught in the standby, but the security guards, they sure as hell don't want to have to be worried about breaking up some some violence going on in the stands. But oh my goodness, I love this, right? Shannon Sharp, again, he's another guy who's all over the place. I love this take from Shannon Sharp. He has another view and another angle for us on this one, grumpy old man. I'll show it to you. And he said she should never be allowed in that stadium or any NFL stadium ever. She started this. Believe you. And somebody, I don't know, bull
She's
jive.
Never getting tossed out. You think the NFL is going to toss out a woman in today's environment? Forget that. They'll probably salute her.
Well, this is a lady. This is a lady who was mixing it up on both sides. She's over here. Yeah, they're obviously going at it. Oh, get him out of here! Get him out of here! Yeah, get out of here!
He was fully lubricated. Okay, so this guy in the yellow, he's not a security guard.
Okay, so this guy, I thought, okay, maybe so. This is a guy who's just over here. Okay, so that was it. The guy with the yellow fought off with his friend as the guy disappeared. So maybe it was like they were. Oh, here she goes. This is what. The mom heard across the audience. Oh, she starts it, and everything looked like it was calmed down. And that one Coca-Cola that's been thrown is what started all this. I love how his natural move was to go bitch slap right here. He went in backhands just with a fist, just I'm gonna backhand everything that's going on over here. Oh goodness.
I mean, hey, that's what That's why it's only the second quarter. Okay, that's why they cut off alcohol at the end of the third quarter, people. That's why they do it. Here it is, an exhibition game, though. No one's been in the stands for a long time.
An exhibition game where he is fighting Rams fans. He is fighting fans.
So I don't know when this is in the game. I thought it was second quarter. It's a second and 10. So I don't know what quarter it is, but they had 13 points. I don't know where we were, but it'd be interesting to see where we were in the game time.
I'll have to try to pull that for you, grumpy old man. But Yes. Long story short, that oh my god, yeah, the Ric Flair chop. That's exactly what it was. It was in the big flat. The
You know what it felt
the
like
Ric
at the
Flair
end?
chop.
It's like they were all like in a battle royale trying to get Andre the Giant out of the ring. Everybody is trying to get him over the something, get him out of there. That's what it looked like. Yeah, whatever.
I love the fights, and it always seems like the Rams fans are always willing to fight. But the best part about it is he's fighting other Rams fans. Oh,
These boys were fully lubricated. I'm just and here's the thing: Big Boy was really juiced because everybody else was kind of taunting him. So who knows what he was saying? You know, you always forget everything that happened before, and you kind of look at this.
in a 1 minute clip, I can look at to try to analyze why everything transpired the way it did.
Yeah, I know exactly what happened.
Alexander saying, sorry guys, I'm rolling right now. He was laughing. He said it looks like what goes on in today's WWE.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man, I did see that. So that's how you know that officially and the NFL is back. I had a few hockey items, Grumpy, I wanted to talk to you about. I know we talked about this a little bit on last podcast, but breaking down some of history's past. Some of history's past when it came to hockey production, and I wanted to show you different. Oh, now it's coming to me what you're going to say. I want to show you different point producers, top 10 NHL point producers for forwards from the 2010s.
Oh, who's at the top?
Patrick Kane, Grumpy.
Is that the same Patrick Kane that you said the Islanders wouldn't trade for him for Anders Lee straight up? Is that the same guy?
Hi, guys. I told you before, and I'll tell you.
No.
I told you before, and I'll tell you again, Grump. I told you.
Liar, pants on fire.
I'm going to tell you this, and I'll tell you it again. I said for that season, Anders Lee meant more to the Islanders than Patrick Kane would have.
No.
Yes.
Anders Lee is a better player than Patrick Kane. That's what you said because you are not able to look at things objectively. You want to look at through your orange and blue tinted visors. Not me. Let me tell you something. You ask the Islanders, would they trade Patrick Kane for Anders Lee straight up? Even today, the answer is yes. It's been yes forever.
What I'm shocked by on this list, I guess, shouldn't really shock me. John Tavares was number 5, and Alexander Ovechkin was number 3. I'm shocked that Patrick Kane was number 1 on this list, though.
Well, yeah, but you want to know who's nowhere to be seen? The aforementioned average Anders Lee. And here's this guy, right? Art Ross Trophy, leading scorer. Ted Lindsay, most valuable player, voted on by players. Hart Memorial, league most valuable player. Conn Smythe, playoff MVP. That's Patrick Kane. Where's Anders Lee? Nowhere.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I did see that. And I'm looking at the list here, and I think, how many guys will be future Hall of Famers? I think Nick Backstrom might be able to squeak his way in. He's always one of those guys that I feel like he won't be a first ballot guy. He might be able to squeak his way in again if he's able to play long enough. He's played for quite some time. He's amassed a lot of points, but this is a guy who I think maybe might be able to find his way in. Phil Kessel, no. Blake Wheeler, no. Blake Wheeler's number 9 on that list.
He was good.
Stamkos, definitely. Malkin, I'm sure he'll also be a first ballot Hall of Famer. John Tavares, I think he'll probably make the Hall of Fame. Claude Giroux, you don't think John Tavares will make the Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
I think he has. I think he still has a lot to go.
I'll tell you what, playing in Toronto helps him in that regard.
Yep.
And if they ever win, he'll definitely get in.
Yeah, for certain. Claude Giroux.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh, man. And then I also wanted to show you a little bit about some defenders. Now, this should be no shock to any. Erik Karlsson, number 1 on the list. I'm sure, Grumpy, not a shock to you. Brett Burns, you forget, number 2 on that list as well.
I don't know if he played defense the whole time. Remember, he used to be a forward.
That also maybe could have had.
So I don't know when that started, but yeah, Keith Yandel, yeah, Karlsson, yeah. I'm not surprised by any of those guys.
Neither am I. Ryan Sutter. Ryan Suter. I mean, he was up there too. You forget he was once a very dominant defenseman.
Yeah, he's still good defensively, even at his advanced age.
Absolutely. I just wanted to show you, see if there's anything that stuck out to you, grumpy old man, through that time period that left you kind of scratching your head or anything of that nature.
Listing Patrick Kane at the top of the list and no Anders Lee just further cements me being correct on that player assessment.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was so foolish when you first said it. That's why I call it. It's probably the most ridiculous thing you've ever said. And believe me, there's been plenty of that.
Here it is. And I'll say it again. I'll say it now, and I'll say it again. For that year, he was more important for us because of the leader factor. I know Patrick Kane's a leader. I'm just saying that Anders Lee was the guy.
No.
I'm not an all in on Anders Lee type of guy, but I think he was important to us. Rusty Spooner is saying, hey, fam, sorry I'm late. And also TJ and Grumpy. What's
Rusty?
What a film said, the things that entertain TJ, LOL, kind of hilarious, though. Love the crazy lady. Oh, good.
Yeah, see, I'm not a big fan of people getting beat up in the stands. I never have been. TJ always finds that stuff amusing. He always has.
I like looking at it like an objective guy, just kind of watching what happened, and I try to gather, what has caused us as an individual to get to this point where I'm willing to fight somebody because I assume it's my fandom against your fandom. It's usually how those things start. I'm a fan of this team and you're a fan of that team, and for that reason I want to beat you up, or because you said something, you've been heckling me, I want to beat the hell out of you. That always does entertain me. It's like the mystery files. I feel like I'm trying to decode what happened.
You know what it is? It's somebody gets drunk, and then you got somebody else who probably is a sharp wit and is just verbally skewering this guy, and he's funny at it. And so he's torturing this guy, and finally he has enough, and he wants to start a fight. And of course, no one stops it or even tries to stop it. They just egg them both on. And, eventually a guy snaps. He gets hit by a little bit of liquid. And then all of a sudden, all bets are off. And then he jumps throws a couple of punches. Everybody attacks him. It's like, how many times have we seen this? 100 times. And and I'm not saying they shouldn't serve alcohol at games, but every single one of these events, there's alcohol involved. Every one of them. Not some, everyone. Exactly.
Because
you got the other guy with his pants down, his underwear hanging down. It's like, oh God. Don't you realize that your pants are down around your ankles at some point in time? I don't know. And then you got all the big women out there falling out of their shirt. They're triple X women, and they're wearing like extra small children's girl tank tops, and they just fall. I'm like, honey, if anything, look at your pals. He's going to get drunk. I'm sure it's not the first time this guy's ever gotten inebriated, and he was. And it's like, and they're all just like falling out. Like, is this Los Angeles? I'm glad I don't live there.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say. It's like, look at all the women. Look at all of them. They're all extra large women in extra small clothes, falling out. This guy, look at this guy. His pants are down around his ankles. That hurt him too. He's not able to move. He's immobilized with those pants down around his ankles.
He's immobilized. It didn't load for me that time. I apologize.
Literally and figuratively immobilized.
Master Lego Yoda said, I agree with Grumpy. Help stop the fight. Don't film for views.
It's society though, right? Think about it.
Yeah. Hey, I've got to go ahead and make sure I capture this. I don't want to get involved. And from a third party, you kind of want to stop. But if I see 4 or 5 guys brawling the hell out of it, I'm just kind of like, oh man. I'm like, the thought process. This guy,
you're full of crap. This is you. Hit him, go get him, yeah. That's what you do.
Is that me? I'm like, yeah, go, it's curb stomp him. Is that what I'm yelling? I'm chanting. I'm like, yeah, use your boot. Is that what you think I'm doing in the stands, Grumpy?
Now, I would say if I was involved in a fight like that, no.
I'll tell you this. I'm a guy where it's like, if some fight like that's breaking out, I'd like to try to stop, but in the same token, if somebody's flailing about, I'm like, ooh, I might be hit by collateral of this, reckless flailing. I'm going to wait till things die down. It looks like the situation's kind of
attack.
No, not then attack and then pull off. Once the tension, like kind of, they got a little bit of anger out. Once the tension's kind of died down, like, all right, let's stop. As soon as you see like one guy's, he's clearly lost. He's no longer the victor. That's when I'm like, all right, let's stop.
Oh yeah, like a buck late, an hour late and a buck short. That's you. We'll wait till the fight's over. Okay, nothing to see here.
Well, sometimes those fights go on a little longer than they anticipate, where guys like knock down, they'll still be punching the hell out of the guy's head. That's really like, all right, you need to stop.
Real life fights don't last more than 30 seconds, right?
No. Yeah.
30 seconds. That's it.
You know the UFC. You know, like the UFC referee when a guy gets knocked out and the guy comes on top of him and still tries to hammer the hell out of the guy's head. That's where you come in. I'm like, whoa, he's knocked out. Stop, stop, stop. That's where I feel like I come in.
I just find it offensive that you're considering yourself like a referee, like a peacekeeper in there when you're Mr. Gary Gung Ho and stuff like that happens.
Gary Gung Ho.
You're delusional.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, get him! That's TJ.
That's me. Rusty Spooner said, I agree with TJ on this. Lee, don't care, Grump. Love you, though. We still get our cups. He says, let's battle, Grump.
No way. I'm sorry. I disagree with you, Rusty.
Alexander said, not a better player, but a better leader. I feel, honestly, hey, as I've told you before, that year we did need a leader, and he was important to us. I said he was more important to our team's success that year than Patrick Kane would have been. I give you one hot take like that, and you still never let it go.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's just nonsensical. It's nonsensical.
What a film said, Grumpy should have matched your schedule, TJ. Then I would understand it better. Yeah. Then I'd understand it, TJ.
Yeah, TJ. Okay, we're supposedly doing this podcast every Thursday and Sunday. Thursday at 9. Supposedly it's 9-ish, as everyone knows, because we're running on TJ time, and Sunday 8-ish. Okay, this Thursday coming up, TJ's out of town. I don't know what he's doing. I'm always prepared. TJ obviously not. So there will be no podcast either for the Islanders Never Say Die podcast on Wednesday or the TJ and the Grumpy Old Man on Thursday. We perhaps will have an Islanders Never Say Die podcast on Tuesday. I don't know about Saturday.
Yes, we'll work it out. We'll make sure we post it on social media. I've got to look at what time my flights would look like and everything of that nature. But we'll make sure I
hopefully they don't allow drinking on the flights. I'd hate to see some type of battle on an airplane.
A battle on an airplane. Eli said, "Can we have Grumpy do a rant on the sports city of Philadelphia for a moment?"
Didn't I rip Philadelphia, the whole city, yesterday?
You did yesterday, but Eli wants some more. Ripping
I hate Philadelphia. The whole city's a dump, really. It's like the worst city in the world. It's terrible. I mean, it's a slime ball city with slime ball people. The women don't shower. Men are, I don't know, Cro-Magnons. We're losers. It is absolutely the anus of the United States.
I thought Rams games were that.
No, they funnel it. Here's the thing. Once you pass that test, they send you to Philadelphia.
So that guy wearing the Aaron Donald jersey is getting a first class ticket right to Philly.
That's when you get yourself upranked from other cities, they send you to. I mean, that's where Philadelphia. I mean, loser town. That's Philadelphia.
Rusty Spruder saying, "Are we still in on Tarasenko? If it even has a snowball's chance, kills me." FML. Laughing out loud, shake my head.
I still have all my chips in the Tarasenko column. I just do. It's a failure if we don't. You're going to hear some of these Islander glad-hander media people and people we've had on the podcast who think, oh, it doesn't matter. We're improved. We're not improved unless you get a sniper. And if we want to win a Stanley Cup, we have to make a move like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Moving right along here. Moving as one of my sayings, moving right along here. Alexander said, wish somebody had a video when my fiance went after a Patriot fan at the Hard Rock Stadium in 2019. He kept spilling his beer on us.
Alexander, I wish I had video of that. So what were you doing while she was attacking a Patriots fan? Were you like TJ trying to be a peacekeeper, supposedly? Or were you rooting her on? And was it a guy or a woman? I don't know. This deserves further investigation. I'd like more details on this attack on a poor, innocent Patriots fan in the Hard Rock Stadium in 2019.
Oh, goodness, Grumpy. And it's funny that you're wearing a Tom Brady Patriots shirt right now.
Yes, I am.
Not like you're biased at all.
No.
Oh, goodness.
What can I tell you?
What a film said, gonna wait till it cools down and then attack. TJ Grumpy.
I know exactly. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what he does. He'd jump in all of a sudden. Yeah, okay. Guy's unconscious. He really kicked his butt. He was being unruly. I straightened him out. Yeah.
No. You just come in and say, whoa. You don't want anybody to die. I mean, when those people are knocked out unconscious, getting the crap kicked out of them, you're like, all right, this is a person's safety now we're worried about. I'll let you get your fight in.
My God.
Really?
Let me ask you a question. Were you drinking at the game too? Because I'm sure that doesn't color your judgment.
Hold on. How have I now been juxtaposed into the position of being the Rams fan? I'm not the Rams fan. I don't fight like that at the stadium or
I'm
arena.
just asking. You're just you paint yourself as like
if I were in a situation like that, that's how I'd think I
wouldn't
be sitting there waiting till it looks like everything died down and then jump in and lead for a second attack. You're painting me like I'm the leader of the 2nd battalion. Once I see the forces have gone ahead and weakened the other guy, then I jump in to kind of go ahead and clean up, is what you're making it sound like who I am, Grump. And it's not the case, I don't think.
I just don't like you painting yourself as the guardian of peace in the world.
I have to go the other opposite, because you're saying I'm like the guy who's the evil man. I get the sloppy seconds once they go ahead and beat the hell out of a guy. I come in and just kick the crap out of him when he's down.
Don't forget, I know you. Okay.
Oh, stop.
You can try to sell yourself. I love how you sell yourself. You're the greatest thing ever. You're just so wonderful. You're Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful. That's you.
Oh, goodness. Rusty Spooner said, Lee's life's matter on the ice, Grumpy, 100%. And what if he was fully capable? Do we win Game 7? Honestly, Grumpy.
No, I don't think we do. I just think that Tampa Bay was just better this year.
Alexander saying, during a preseason game at the Coliseum, during a Devils Islanders game, a fight broke out in the entranceway to the seats. My uncle ran down there, broke it up. Oh, man, I was laughing. I was only 11 at the time.
So, Alexander, this pattern of letting other people do your fighting for you was established at a young age, I see. I see that.
He also
Thank you. This is your uncle, and this is probably the uncle that hates Matt Barzal. Probably. I'm just guessing. Okay? Now his wife has to stick up for him. Alexander, I don't know what's going on over there.
Alexander also said she turned around talking about the Hard Rock Stadium. She turned around, grabbed him, and started hitting him back. And his wife was like, nope. I'm trying to break it up. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Okay. So your wife, okay. I like your wife. I'm going to tell you what. She sounds like she's got some cojones on her. I'm going to tell you that much. She's mixing it up with the enemy, and she's got somebody trying to break it up. She's having none of it, and you're just sitting back going, woo, woo, woo. I'm glad your uncle wasn't around. He would have taken care of him too.
What a film said. The only thing Philadelphia has is Rocky. Yo, Adrian.
We did it.
Rusty Spooner had two saying the woman is a keeper. Fucking assholes. And he says TJ is a sucker puncher according to Grumpy. That's what I'm about to say. He's painting me like I'm a sucker puncher. He's like laughing my ass off. Stop hitting them, TJ.
No, TJ is a guy who, if he got in a fight, he'd take a lot. He'd be on one of those things where you see guys taking a lot of punches to the face because he fights like this. Got that chin up, ready to absorb punishment. And he can take a punch. He can. But it's like, dude, get your hands up. Learn how to fight. He get beat up. I just know it. TJ once told me, no lie, I said Ronda Rousey would kick his ass. And he's like, no way.
Okay.
Absolutely
You have to give context here. This is when I was in peak physical fitness, peak physical form.
I don't care what
135-pound Ronda Rousey would not kick my ass. You said
yes, she would
kick your ass all over the place.
Said, you want to know why she would? Because she's a professional fighter. And you're just a guy who leads with his chin.
I'm saying she's 135 pounds at 5'7". When I was in
take you down
peak physical fitness,
she'd make you squeal. She'd make you cry like a baby within 30 seconds. She'd take you down and she'd get you in an ankle lock, and you'd be done.
What a film said. TJ played offensive line in college football. He should have been the first one in. I know, but I it's no point for me. I'm usually not in all that type of stuff. We usually are like, okay, let's not. These people are crazy. They might have snuck some type of weapon in the stadium. I don't want to be messing around with anybody. I try to diffuse as much as possible, if at all. Now I do
hold on. So you're trying to say that people are sneaking weapons
Not
into the
not
stadium.
only am I the peacekeeper, Grumpy, I also defuse violence. As you're telling me, I'm the guy who's coming in, and I'm the guy, and I'm the guy who's sucker punching people, and I'm leading the second attack for sloppy seconds over there.
Yeah, okay.
I got two more things I want to show you. So they're trying to give. I see that there were some people in the comments trying to give this guy a little bit of trash now because he's eating out of the Stanley Cup. You're like, oh, it's going to get the Stanley Cup dirty. I'm just like, people do not understand the sport all that much. But I wanted to ask you the question:
what is he eating? What is he eating?
I think it's like Chinese chicken, perhaps, or something. I don't know.
I can't.
It looks good. I don't know what it is, but it looks good. It looks damn good. Let me ask you this: if you had the Stanley Cup and you're eating a meal out of it, what is the meal of your choice you would eat out of the cup?
I wouldn't eat out of the Stanley Cup.
What?
I wouldn't eat out of the Stanley Cup.
I'd eat a bowl of cereal. I'd eat I don't know what type of cereal. Maybe some Frosted Flakes or some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'd eat that out of the cereal for certain for breakfast. I mean, this looks pretty good. It's making me hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet, but this is looking damn good.
Yeah, you have never skipped a meal. Who the hell are you kidding? And number two, so people are giving him a hard time about this?
Yeah, because he's eating out of the cup.
Other guys have done way worse. They put alcohol and they drink out of the cup. I mean, you get a day with the cup, do whatever you like, as long as you don't damage it, of course. And, okay, I don't think he's going to put – if it's TJ, there'd be fork scrapings on the cup because of the way he eats. But, there's nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't do it. That's not my cup of tea. But you know what? Leave the kid alone. He's not doing anything bad.
Rusty Spooner said, wow, TJ, just wow, shaking my head. Tough guy, cheap shot artist at Ronda Rousey, unreal. Oh my God. And he said, without
he would wait until Ronda Rousey was beaten. Who's the girl who beat Ronda Rousey?
Grumpy old man would paint me as a guy. Yeah, once Ronda lost the bout, maybe got knocked out or got beaten in the UFC. That's where I'd come in and be like, let me take on Ronda Rousey. Bam, bam, bam. That's how Grumpy's trying to go ahead and paint me.
That's exactly what it would be like. She would kick your ass right up the
Eli saying 130 pounds of skills and smarts, over 200 plus plants, chin leading fighting. I love how Grumpy's like, yeah, I'm a chin leading fighting. I love how he's saying that. Nothing backing that shit up at all, by the way.
Oh, please. Here's the thing. I've seen that.
Oh, stop. Please stop. I know, Grumpy, you're a showman. What can I say? But I do. What's that, Grump? I'll let you hit one more topic.
No, nothing.
Oh my goodness. Eli also said here, by the way, my home state is New Jersey. It is is in the Little League World Series. Let's go, Tom's River. We made a 6-run comeback in the 6th, fairly entertaining for Little League.
Tom's River's always been pretty good. I know they've won titles before. Good for them.
Master Lake.
Here's the thing. They know what to do in their organization. They know what to do to get a team ready for the Little League World Series.
Master Lego Yoda said Tampa damaged the cup. That got me angry. It's the one thing to celebrate. It's another thing to go that far.
Yeah, you shouldn't damage the cup, without a doubt. I mean, I like the guys who take it back to their hometown where they were born, to some small little rink where they learned how to skate, and it's a big event for the town.
And you see everybody in the town's there, but everybody always does it a little different. But those are always the ones.
I like those. Yeah, I just like those stories the best, honestly. And I'm not criticizing. Who was that? Matthew Joseph, I think.
I think it was Matthew Joseph. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? So what? He ate out of it. People having at pool parties. I mean, nothing wrong with that.
Rusty Spooner said TJ versus Ronda Rousey. Let's go, Jake Paul. Make it happen. Oh, goodness gracious.
You get destroyed. Here's the thing, TJ. She's a professional fighter. You're a professional target. I mean, come on. You would be what I would call a practice dummy.
I'd be a practice. Fair enough.
Throw the kicks at you. Oh,
Alexander saying that dude had it coming, Grump and TJ, and no Grump. It was my younger uncle, my middle uncle, who used to have the season tickets to the Islanders games.
Okay,
one of his Barzal sucks.
I'm sure the guy had it come because there are a lot of obnoxious fans. And here's the thing: I'm going to guarantee you there was probably alcohol involved. Once again, liquid courage from people. Eventually, I'm going to tell a story at one point in time where I had an incident when I was younger. I was not drinking, but I was in much better physical shape than I am now. More
You weren't
muscular.
grumpy and old at that time period. Is that correct?
I'm holding that for another time.
What a film said. 1 minute TJ's avoiding a fight and getting in there late. The next he's kicking Ronda Rousey's ass. What the hell, TJ? I was about to say, when I was in peak physical form, hey, I'd be willing to do it. But now I'm like, I'm older. I'm like, man, I don't know. We need to do that dumb shit.
Dude, she would have destroyed you. I don't care what. Forget it. Forget it. You're an offensive lineman, and she's a professional fighter.
Okay. She was towards the tail end. She's 135 pounds. I don't know why we're continue to go down that. I'm not fighting Ronda Rousey. I'm not fighting anybody these days.
Because you couldn't draw any money.
I'm not in peak physical fitness anymore. I'm not peak physical form either, Grumpy.
In your prime, you would never have beaten Ronda Rousey. The fact that you're still trying to skirt around that, say, well, now I wouldn't. You never would have back then either.
Rusty Spooner said professional target. Laughing my fucking ass off, Grumpy. Gold. Oh, goodness gracious. And then, yeah, what a film saying one time he's talking about he's going to kick his ass. This is not good, TJ. Oh, goodness.
Because he's full of shit. If TJ was drinking, he'd be like, go for it. He wouldn't be breaking. He's not Mother Teresa.
I'm going to different areas where they're lepers, and I'm helping them, and I'm helping provide food and aid. I am the Mother Teresa, right, Grumpy?
My God.
I'm the opposite, so I'm actually taking those away, aren't I? Or I'm waiting for them to finish up beating the hell out of the lepers, and then I'm coming in and saying I'm ready to go ahead and take on some fights. That's what you're sounding like, Humpty. Alexander said, yes, he kept on hovering over us and was spilling his beer over us, and we were already getting destroyed by the Patriots.
Oh, see, now the truth comes out.
Hey,
now here's the thing.
You be spilling beer on people. That pissed me off.
But he probably wasn't doing it on purpose. And I think it was probably one of those hot summer days where you get a little bit cranky, especially when it's a normal Patriot-Dolphin game. And, it's like, here we are getting rolled by the Patriots again. Tom Brady's out there throwing the ball all over the park again. And your wife just had enough. She's like, Alexander, are you going to do something about this guy? And Alexander said, so she's like, forget it. I'm going at him. And she took him down.
Oh, goodness. Rusty Spooner is saying here, Murray comeback, TJ versus Ronda Rousey. God almighty. And then Lego Master Yoda said, I also agree with Eli. Kucherov is a joke. Yes, he has amazing talent, but he's not a respectable player. And when you're on an interview with him, no shirt. LOL.
Yeah, he should have wore a shirt.
I will not forget Alexander. I will show him the video. I'll make sure to show him the link.
I have a feeling that this particular TJ against Ronda Rousey thing is going to come up again. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Again, I'm not in peak form. And why the hell would we fight? But I'm just saying, hey, I've got the ability. You brand me as a guy who eats punches with their face. It's not true, but you can keep toting it around. Rusty Spooner said T to the kicking off Ronda Rousey's ass. Jay, my ass off. Oh God. Oh goodness gracious. And Ronda Rousey versus TJ, the fight of the century.
It would not be the fight of the century. It would be like Mike Tyson fighting Michael Spinks. Back in whatever year it was, it lasted like 31 seconds. That's about the length of it. Michael Spinks was petrified. Michael Spinks, a.k.a. TJ, was petrified of Mike, Ronda Rousey, Tyson, and just took a beating.
Oh, my goodness. Anyway, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about on today's podcast. Speaking about some more controversy. Did you hear what happened to PJ? I know we're a little late to this one. Did you hear what happened to PJ Williams or PJ Washington?
No, I say save this for the next one because that's going to be a long conversation.
Okay, gotcha. We're a little late. I was about to say we're an hour and 38 minutes in. I guess we could talk about that next time. Again, I hate to leave him on a cliffhanger, Grump. We won't be going live next Thursday, so we'll have a lot to talk about. I was about to say
that's fine. That's fine. We can do it now. That's fine.
We've got here PJ Washington, who is now being forced to pay $200,000 a month in child support for the next 18 years as his ex-wife secretly filed for divorce 2 weeks after giving birth to their child.
But that's really not the tip of the iceberg on that story, is it, TJ?
No, it is not. Well, I wanted to break that down because right now he gets paid about $4 million a year after taxes, probably like $2.8 million. So he's paying her roughly $2.4 million a year out of the whatever he's taking after tax of like 2.8. Again, he might have like sponsorship deals, all this other stuff coming in besides salary. But number one, I wanted to say this was quite odd, and it's funny, right? As they're digging and finding out more information on necessarily his partner, this is a video clip of her speaking. This was in 2018. Or let me see the exact year. This was before they had started dating or before they had started knowing each other. And I'll let you listen to this, Grumpy.
The worst people to deal with are the athletes. None of them use condoms, really. So if y'all really want to try to come up off a check off a man, you could just fuck an athlete. They're really dumb.
If you want to come up off a check, you want to make some money, you could just have sex with an athlete and have one of their kids, and that's how you can go ahead and make some money.
She ain't lying.
And
did you hear that evil laugh after? Girl, judgment-free zone, but we don't like when guys keep.
What do you mean judgment-free zone? Why are you not judging her? You should be judging her. Here's the thing. Pretty obvious what she did to poor PJ Washington here. He must feel like a total fool.
He must feel like he's been bamboozled. Well, I want you to listen to this because it's not like she just did it with PJ Wash. She tried to do it with other individuals too.
Some things private. Nonetheless, you had raw, unprotected sex with how many athletes? According to her, she slept with 11 athletes, 5 entertainers, and 8, quote, regular dudes.
11 athletes, 5 entertainers, and PJ Washington. Trying to have sex there, have unprotected sex, come up on a check and make some money because they do not like using protection.
I wonder what, when it said in her high school yearbook, what she wanted to be when she graduated high school. I could add so many things. I'm not going to.
That's one of those things where I feel so bad for PJ Washington. He has to feel hoodwinked. He's just like, I want to see my kid right now. And apparently he's not able to see the kid at the moment. Oh, man. You have to figure, right? The court could take something like that into account to where they're saying like, oh, you've talked about this before in the past, how you could just go ahead and do that. And the nature of you filing for divorce in secret 2 weeks after the child's being born, and now you're securing, $200,000 a month in the form of like alimony or child support. Yikes.
Well, I'm gonna guarantee you that. I mean, first of all, does she really need $200,000 a month to raise a child? I don't make $200,000 a year. I'm able to support a house. I raise children making less than $200,000 a month. I don't make that kind of money. Maybe a lot of people do. I certainly don't, and I was able to get by.
Oh man! I'll tell you, that is
what. But what did it say? Say most likely to succeed. Hers is probably most likely to conceive. That's probably what was her under her yearbook picture.
Most likely to conceive professional basketball players.
Athletic slut.
Oh my God!
I mean, think about it. The worst thing is that she came out and said it. That's the worst thing. Because
came out and said it, and then said, "I've had sex with." And now this was not like a brand new video. I've self-admittedly had sex with 11 different athletes and then 5 different entertainers. I'm like, you're trying to do something there. Yeah. So it's quite odd. Not a good look for her. Unfortunate for PJ Washington. Obviously, I feel like he's the big loser on this entire scenario because the kid's a big loser too.
I mean, once he retires, they're going to drop that $200,000 a month because he's not going to be bringing any income in.
I mean, he's going to be in a situation where the kid is going to be like, "Oh yeah, mom was this." Because one time the kid's going to get old enough, they're going to see some video like that popped around with the mom and like, "Oh, this is why mom doesn't love dad and why they've got a bad relationship." Oh God. So everybody's a loser in that one, except I guess the young lady who's getting now $200,000 a month off of PJ.
Well, she lost his respect of the free world.
Does she care about that though?
No, probably not.
If you're making let's say you're making roughly $2.5 million a year, are you caring about what some Joe Schmo on the internet like you and I are thinking about her?
Probably not. Is that $200,000 that she makes? Is that tax-free, or does she have to pay taxes on that, or is it tax-free?
We're not talking about that. Anyway, moving right along there, grumpy old man. Alexander said, I can see TJ doing a documentary on getting ready for the fight, and oh my God, it'd be hilarious.
He would be moving like he had his shoelaces tied together. And you'd see Ronda doing spin kicks. knocking down heavy bags off the ceiling.
And what would I be doing is like as I'm getting ready here for a fight, Grumpy, would I just be like drinking, sitting back, just kind of relaxing, doing the podcast? Yeah, I do this podcast. It gets me mentally prepared for the fight. What do you think my preparation would be then, Grump?
Just preparing your chin for getting punched and kicked.
I'd just be standing there and saying, everybody just
this would be TJ
the hell out of me.
I'm ready.
I like how you still had that one eye closed right there. I'm ready.
I didn't want to hit myself in the
I've got very narrow eye slits, so even when my eyes swell up, I won't be able to see anything. So, Rusty Spooner said, "How long does TJ last in the fight, Grumpy?"
30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Maybe, and that's if Ronda took it easy. It would not last long. It wouldn't he tap out. He would tap out.
What a film said. TJ wants to help lepers. Does leprosy even exist? What the hell's wrong with TJ? Leprosy exists, I think, still, but that's what Mother Teresa was known for. She'd go and help out different people that had leprosy or contracted leprosy, and she'd help provide for them when everybody else turned them away in third world countries. So I was just playing off of I was the anti Mother Teresa, as Grumpy would say.
Yeah, no comment.
Rusty Spooner said, "She's cold and damn, she's hot." That sucks. He got caught up on that. And the thing is, she was the craziest part about this. They started dating. He was 18 years old, had just graduated and got drafted. She was 27 at the time period. Could you imagine if that was the other way around? This was could you imagine if it was the other way around?
You wish that he had someone in his life say, "Hey,
wake up.
You're a millionaire. You don't need this road skank over here." Believe me, she's nothing but damn trouble.
So she. I mean,
you look at her picture. The first picture is like, okay, look at me. I'm selling it. I mean, come on. Come on.
I'll show you.
Come on. I mean, it's not. Hi, I'm whatever her name is. It's like
I'm glad they're not showing up the name because you don't want to give her any type of publicity.
No.
But
I mean, look at the pose. Is that the way that people usually pose? I don't think so.
And then Rusty Spooner said, "Wow, that clip should hold up in court 100%. That should be criminal." And he said, as a lawyer, human human harvesting, which is illegal 100%. Check it out. No bullshit. Yeah, I got you. Oh, that is crazy. That's something that blew my mind. And you're just kind of thinking, you're like, oh.
Here's the thing,
though. Feel bad for PJ Washington really badly. You're like,
I'm going to tell you, seriously, I'm going to guarantee that there's a lot of women who think like that. They look at an athlete as a cha-ching, I can cash in on it.
Alexander said the face-to-face confrontation.
Do you ever look at some of these athletes, how ugly they are? Not really good looking. And you see beautiful women throw themselves at them. There's a reason.
Alexander said the face-to-face confrontation would be hilarious.
She'd be staring at TJ's chest.
I was about to say, we'd be I'd be 2 weight classes maybe heavier than she was or is. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say.
And TJ would say,
I have to work on stamina.
TJ would say, "Hey, how about after the match? We get a little picture with the family, okay?" And then Ronda would push him and just says, "You're in trouble, man."
What is that from, Grumpy?
That's right out of Rocky 3 when Hulk Hogan went out with Rocky Balboa.
Oh, God. I was about to say, I wasn't sure what you were making reference to on that.
Yeah.
And then Would a Film said, $200,000 a month for a kid. I agree with Rusty. He should be taken to court. My kids are lucky. They just eat hot dogs with their Kraft dinner. Hey, man, I like some hot dogs. That's what I like eating. I like eating some Kraft macaroni and cheese and some frozen chicken or some hot dogs. Ooh, brother, that's a dinner of champions right there.
TJ Lee
guest host on the podcast, my opponent Ronda Rousey. Next thing there'll be a lot of shit talking.
She would be laughing and laughing first of all, she'd be laughing at me characterizing TJ as a killer. She'd look at him and go, "Please." No.
Okay. She's 34 years old. She's not fighting anymore. I'm not fighting.
She could be 50 and kick your ass. She's a professional fighter.
50, brother. She's 5'7", 135 pounds. At the age of damn 35, 40, 50 years old, like she doesn't have it anymore. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Here we go, people. You're seeing it now.
I'm telling you right now. It's because you goat me into this shit. And I'll tell you again. I'll tell you now, and I'll tell you again. At the age of 35, 40 years old, at 135 pounds, 5'7", come on. How much strike do you think she's still got left? How much force do you think she's throwing behind those punches still?
All I know is Mother Teresa, aka TJ, is taking off the veil now. Here you go, Ronda Rousey. I'm telling you what, this is going to have a bigger life than Patrick Kane and Anders Lee. I guarantee you. This is going to be touched on often. You are never going to live this down.
I'm gonna have to start shredding. I'm gonna have to start hitting the gym. I'm gonna have to look like a badass.
I don't care
I'm
how
gonna have
many
to start
gyms
taking
you
Claude McGraw classes, Grump.
She's going to hit you in the face and you're going to crumple. Well, maybe not. She wouldn't hit you in the face. She'd get you in an ankle lock. That's what she'd take you down.
What if film said she would just put her legs around you and your throat and it'd be over?
Yeah, she's good, man.
I tell you, she'd have to work on her vert to get all the way up here at 5'7".
Oh boy, here we go. I'm just talking Ronda Rousey.
I'm goading it. That's all it is. Oh goodness gracious. No. Rusty Spooner said, "Who wouldn't want Ronda Rousey's legs?" And Alexander said, "I could just see Grumpy's reaction."
Oh man, it'd be hilarious. I just want to make sure that he'd be okay after the fight, though, for the next podcast.
Oh goodness. Alexander said, "If she can wrestle at 35, she can definitely still fight." TJ.
Yeah. See, he doesn't think. Believe me, he doesn't think she could beat him.
Hey, I'm just saying she's at a disadvantage. I know she's a professional fighter.
She's at a disadvantage.
She's 35 years old at 135 pounds. Naturally speaking, she's at a disadvantage. Sure, she's got a lot of experience. I'm just saying she's fighting however many weight classes above. She's at a disadvantage.
Okay.
I'm not saying you're saying she'd kick my ass. I'm not sure. I think it would be I don't know, Grumpy. I don't know what it would look like.
The only disadvantage she'd have would be, man, I don't want to hurt him too bad.
I'm sure she'd think that because, likelihood she might be able to just connect on one and boom, I'd fall and crumple like a piece of newspaper. But, there might be a chance that she's 135 pounds and that wouldn't happen.
Oh, boy, here we go again. Like I said, this is going to have a life of its own.
There it is.
TJ versus Ronda Rousey.
TJ versus Ronda Rousey. And again, I'm not in fighting form. I'm not in good shape like I used to be. And all I'm saying when I was
again, the fact that you're going back to like you could have in the past beaten her. You could not have.
Okay, fair enough, Grumpy Old Man. We've hit on this quite a bit, and I'm sure we'll bring it up on more TJ and the Grumpy Old Mans. It's going to be one of those things that Grumpy will never let die. That being said, Grumpy Old Man, anything else you want to say before we wrap things up on today's podcast?
I just want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
Well, thank you, Grumpy Old Man. Thank you, everybody who listened live. I want to thank you, as always, Grumpy. Thank you, everybody who listened live. Thanks for the love, the laughter, and all the smiles. And thank you again, Grumpy. We'll be going live again next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we'll be going back to Thursday and Sundays. I will not be doing it this Thursday, but we will be back on our Thursday, Sunday schedule after next Sunday. But thank you guys for listening, and thank you again, Grumpy Old Man.